In Assassin's Creed Valhalla, you start the game in the country of Norway, and while there is a ton of unique weapons to find in England, there is quite a few weapons that you should pick up before you set sail to the British Isles. So here is 6 unique weapons that you can find in the region of Norway, starting with the Bonebiter. Simply put, the Bonebiter is a Danish axe that comes with a perk that increases your stun damage after a heavy hit. And this can stack up to 10 times, pretty much meaning if you can get a chain of heavy hits going with this thing, you'll be stunning enemies left, right and center. Now to obtain the Bonebiter, you'll need to head over to a small island in the center of Recurve. You'll find this right here on the map. On this island, you will find a small camp known as Econoi, and after clearing out all of the enemies in this location, you will find the weapon hidden in a chest in the main building. Now as far as two-handed weapons go, it's actually pretty good and comes with good base damage and stun damage. But talking of two-handed weapons, we now move on to Fasnirs Fang. So Fasnirs Fang is a spear that comes with a perk that increases your critical hit chance when surrounded by more than 3 enemies, making this a great choice when fighting in clusters. Now to obtain this weapon, you'll need to head over to the location on your map known as Hildesvini's Crag. This is just north of your settlement. Once over here, if you climb your way up the waterfall, you will find a cave. And if you make your way through that cave, you'll eventually come across one of the Sons of Ragnar known as Eric Loyalskull. Defeating Eric is how you obtain the spear, but make no mistake, he is one of the tougher enemies you will find in Norway, so make sure you go prepared before you engage with him. Overall, the weapon comes with great base damage and critical damage, and if you like engaging in fights with a bit more distance, it's definitely the weapon for you. But moving on, we now have the Warhammer. This gracious weapon is a heavy hitting weapon with a perk that increases heavy damage after a heavy finisher, and this stacks up to 5 times. To find this, you'll need to head over to the Marauder's Den on the southwest island in Recurve, in this location on the map. Once here and you've cleared out all the enemies, if you look up, a chest will be hidden on a wooden pallet that's attached to a tree. Simply climb up there, open the chest, and this is where you'll find the Warhammer. As usual, the weapon's base stats will be shown on screen, with its notable stats being base damage and stun damage. Now, I will say that compared to some of the other weapons in Norway, it just didn't seem as good. But hey, it still gets the job done and leaves you feeling like a complete badass when you crush your enemies with this thing. But enough about melee weapons, let's talk range now with the Recurve Bow. Now the Recurve Bow is essentially a predator bow, which is a first-person view longbow designed to fire large arrows from a great distance. This specific bow comes with a perk that gives you increased damage when your health is at full. And for those of you out there with shroud-like aim, you will probably prefer this weapon to the other bow types in the game. To find this bow, you will want to head over to the Heavik shipyard, which is located right here on your map. It's here where you will find a ladder that will take you down into a small bunker. And inside of this bunker, you will find the chest to which the Recurve Bow resides. Now what's good about this bow is that its headshot damage is higher than that of other bow types, and that of course combined with its perk makes it a pretty powerful bow to actually use. Only if you have really good aim, that is, as it's harder to get used to than things like the Hunter's Bow, which just overall seems a bit more reliable. Anyway, we're over halfway into this video now and you haven't dropped a like yet, have you? Well, what are you waiting for? But onto the next weapon now, we have the Yngling Sax. So the Yngling Sax is basically a fine dagger in this game, that comes with a perk that increases your melee damage after a successful dodge. If you pair that up with the skill Brush with Death that slows down time when you dodge, you are sure to make a great use of the weapon's perk. Now to find this dagger, you'll need to head back over to the most southwest island on the map, in the location of Eikundasund. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Anyway, once here, if you head over to the main/biggest building, you will find a chest that is guarded by a Warbringer. The Warbringer is fairly easy to take out, and once you have taken him out, you can simply walk inside and you'll find the chest where this weapon resides. Now because it's a dagger, it does have a low base damage rating, but what it lacks in damage, it definitely makes up for in speed. And to move on to the final weapon of the video, we have the Iron Star. Now, the Iron Star is definitely one of those weapons you won't want to leave Norway without. It's a high damage flail that comes with a perk that increases your heavy attack after a heavy finisher. But putting perks aside, this thing packs quite the punch, and if you place this in Eivor's right hand, you can actually do a special move where you spin the flail around your head and you could just aimlessly run into enemies, making this a superb weapon for crowd control. To get this awesome flail, you'll need to head over to Kjotve's fortress. Again, my pronunciations are probably off, but this is a location you'll end up going to during the story, so no need to really explore to find this one. Anyway, once you're here, the chest can actually be found in one of the side buildings, and it will be marked on your compass when you enter this location. So just make sure you're checking your compass and you'll have no problem finding this. So yeah, the flail is definitely a great weapon to use both within Norway and as you set off on your journey to England. And that's pretty much it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Drop a like if you did. You can expect a ton of weapon guides from me on this game, from the exotic weapons and gear, the godly rewards you can receive, and much more. So subscribe if you are looking for Assassin's Creed Valhalla content. Other than that, I'll catch you guys in the next one.